Hi guys, welcome back. This is Andy, Hammer Eternal, as I try and bring you every single game and every single match with commentary from the daily event on the 29th of October. This is the classic format, and we're into round three. So we're going to start off round three with the game between Arenaria versus Visual Arts. So Arenaria wins the die roll. Lays a tropical island and a voltaic key. I wonder if the time vault's in hand. There's the underground sea through the Thoughtseas, and it pulls the Vendilion click. So we know there's no time vault. The brainstorm resolves. There's a Nile spell bomb. Another Thoughtseas. This time pulls out the Force of Will, and then a brainstorm from Visual Arts. Visual Arts gets the Oath of Druids down. Vampiric Tutor looking for the Forbidden Orchard, but it's hit by a Force of Will. It's the Tropical Island to play the Mana Vault. Brainstorm's met by Mental Misstep. Visual Arts adds another land to the table, passes the turn. It's a case of draw go at the moment. Visual Arts looking for a Forbidden Orchard to turn on the Oath of Druids. It's a card you don't see too often in Classic. It's Fire and Ice as he tries to tap down the opponent's Mana Vault there, but it was met by a Spell Pierce. Visual Arts now has the Forbidden Orchard, and in response, Neria uses the Nail Spell Bomb. Now Visual Arts is going to trigger the Oath and finds the Blightsteel. Jace the Mind Sculptor is Force of Willed, and that's the game for Visual Arts, as Arenaria doesn't have any answers for the Blightsteel now. Into game two. Arenaria leads with Polluted Delta, cracks into Tropical Island into Sol Ring. Visual Arts responds with the Misty Rainforest into Tropical Island, into Nature's Claim on the Sol Ring, which is Mental Misstepped. Jace the Mind Sculptor, turn 2. And there we go. Visual Arts has had enough. Doesn't fancy contending with the Jace the Mind Sculptor. Plus, the Jace the Mind Sculptor will bounce the Blightsteel Colossus or the Emrakul if there's no Dragon's Breath to give it haste. So we need game 3. Visual Arts leads with the Misty. City of Brass on the other side of the table. Brainstorm resolves. Looks like Arenaria is low on land. Visual Arts casts Demonic Tutor, which Arenaria tries to brainstorm to find an answer, but that's hit by Mental Misstep from Visual Arts. Arenaria finds the Scalding Tarn and uses a Mental Misstep to block a Thoughtseize, and Visual Arts gets the Voltaic Key into play. Again, Visual Arts Thoughtseizes. Takes a Demonic Tutor, leaves Nature's Claim, Library of Alexandria, and Volcanic Island. So Visual Arts knows the way is clear, tries to resolve a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Looks like Almenaria drew a Mana Drain there, because it wasn't in the hand at the time of the Thoughtseize. And drains into Snapcaster Mage. Chooses to get the Demonic Tutor. And then gets her own Jace the Mind Sculptor on the table. So really powerful play there. Showing how busted Snapcaster Mage is. But Visual Arts finds the Time Vault. And there we go, has assembled the Time Vault Volcanic Key combo, which is going to take him through to the next round victoriously. So we have a Shop's Mirror now between Sabalord and Goat314. Goat seems to be running a Goblin Welder brew with Staff of Domination to combo with the Metalworker. So Goat gets down Chalice of the Void for 0. And gets down to Thorn of Amethyst on turn 1. Wasteland meets Ancient Tomb. And there's the Great Furnace to power up the Goblin Welder. Goblin Welder should give Goat the edge in this matchup, but he doesn't need it with Wormcoil Engine. Huge play there from Goat. But Sabalord has the Duplicant to take care of it. And now it's Sabalord with the Ascendancy with the 6/6. The Goat gets the Battle Skull on the table. Sabalord has another Duplicant. And now Sabalord lays a Metalworker. Swings in with the Duplicant, which is 6/6. Another Metalworker. Battle Skulls jumps back to the hand and back onto the table. This is all about the Battle Skull. Sabalord's able to activate the Metalworker now. Deploys a Chalice of the Void for 5 and a Sphere of Resistance. Five being relevant because it shuts off the Batter Skull. Chump blocking, the Batter Skull is now and there we go, that's game. Sabalord leads with Chalice of the Void and gets a Revoker onto the table, naming Batter Skull. Goat is now facing Lodestone Golem and Phyrexian Revoker and has the prospect of having a land Strip Mined. There we go, there's a Strip Mine on the Tellurian Academy. And a humorous play there on the Phyrexian Revoker, naming Goat Napper. Goat gets down the Lodestone Golem to match the Lodestone Golem on the other side. And there we go, Sabalord's got the Staff of Domination. But he doesn't need it, he's just going to cast a couple of Duplicants and then beat down for the win. So it's 1-1 in this Shop's Mirror match. As we move into Game 3, Sabalord versus Goat314. Sabalord mulligans to 6, and the Goat opens with Wasteland and Mox Opal, and gets down a Crucible of the World, which is going to be crucial for bringing Wastelands back and damaging the mana base of Sabalord. Sabalord's got the Revoker down, naming the Opal, and manages to play Chalice of the Void, but doesn't seem to have any more lands. There's the Batterskull. Another Wasteland comes back to take it out. Goat gets down the staff. Now he's got the Goblin Welder. Batterskull swings in. Sabalord gets the Metalworker down, but still Goat continues to assault the mana base of Sabalord, taking out the factory with a Crucible of the World Recurred Wasteland. And now we've got active Welder from Goat doing more damage. And there we go, there's a Triskelion, and that's game. Goat goes 3-0. So here we are, Gaines Banding versus the Maniac. Gaines Banding leads with Underground Sea into Brainstorm, but his Underground Sea is wastelanded by the Maniac. The Maniac passes the turn, and there's a Polluted Delta, which is matched on the other side by the Razor Verge into Aether Vial. Now the Vial gets a counter. Gaines Banding shows that he's got Tinker by going for it with the Mystical Tutor, and tinkers up Blightsteel Colossus. Does the Maniac have an answer? He does indeed. There's the Path of Exile. And the Maniac manages to cast and resolve a Leonin Arbiter, and also to vial in an Arbiter, which now is going to make it difficult for Gaines Banding to crack fetch lands and stuff like that. So the Maniac also has the Qasali Pridemage in play now. Attacks with all three, putting Gaines Banding down to 8. Vials in a Revoker and is now threatening lethal. All 4 creatures slam in. Gaines Banding has no answer, and Maniac takes it down. Gaines Banding leads with Forbidden Orchard and Lotus Petal. There goes the Vampiric Tutor to find the Oath of Druids. Here comes the Oath of Druids, activated by the Forbidden Orchards with the tokens, but the Green White Hate has the Nature's Claim, but Gaines Banding's got the Force of Will. True Believer comes down, which shuts off the Oath of Druids because it gives the opponent Shroud, so he can't be targeted by it. And Strip Mine takes out the Volcanic Island, but now the True Believer is lightning bolted. There's a battle over a Leonin Arbiter, which is hit by Spell Snare, and now the Oath of Druids is activated. Finds the Blightsteel Colossus. Does the Green White Hate player have an answer? Does Maniac have an answer? He's got a Pridemage which can take out the Oath of Druids, but it doesn't help against the Blightsteel. And the Oath of Druids was left in play, and there we go. The Emrakul comes down. And that's game. Gaines Banding levels it up. So again we need a decider. Maniac leads first with a Savannah. It's met by Tropical Island and the Mana Craft. Oath of Druids and a Voltaic Key. The Relic Warder is Force of Willed. Gaines Banding now is looking either for the Time Vault or a way to activate the Oath of Druids with either the Maniac casting a creature or with the Gaines Banding finding the Forbidden Orchard. There you go, there's the Worldly Tutor into the True Believer, which is good tech. Don't think we've seen True Believer in Classic for a while now, but it does effectively shut off Oath of Druids. And now the attempt to Fire Blast is going to come from Gaines Banding, taking out the True Believer and the Thoraxium Revoker. Gaines Banding is in a good position here, just needing to find the Time Vault or a way to activate the Oath. But Gaines Banding is getting low on life, losing a coin flip again. Still no way to get this Oath of Druids active. And I'm afraid the replay is bugged here. Looks like the Maniac took it down. Not sure what's happened to the replay, unfortunately. Next up is the Wild Dog, who we know is on Dredge versus Neoto on Snapcaster Mage Control. And as we know, the game 1 for Dredge is often a game 1 win, and it's looking good with the turn 1 Bazaar of Baghdad. Neoto lays a turn 1 Sensei's Top, but clanmate Wild Dog starts the process of dredging through his library, getting cards into his graveyard. He tries for a Cabal Therapy, but it's hit by a mental misstep. And surely the Wild Dog is just going to need one more turn here. Begins dredging. Multiple bridges. There's the Dread Return and the Sun Titan, so that's game. And the Fate Stitcher there as well to untap the Bazaar of Baghdad to get even more dredging going. He's now throwing Cabal Therapy in there for good measure, gaining lots of zombie tokens, and the Wild Dog takes it down. So the Wild Dog mulligans off of a Serum Powder. Neoto finds Seat of Synod into Mana Vault, but Wild Dog has the ominous Bazaar of Baghdad. Neoto's got the turn 2 Tinker into Blightsteel. Wild Dog dredges, activates the Bazaar, and then in his turn he's got the Bloodghast coming back, he's got the Dread Return. Nine Grave Troll is going to have to block and hold off the Blightsteel Colossus. Another bridge token there for the Wild Dog. Crucially, he gets another turn with the Bazaar of Baghdad to dredge some more. More zombie tokens coming to the battlefield. And there's more than enough zombies to absorb an attack from the Blightsteel. And also, he's got the Chain of Vapor there as well. So, good game to the Wild Dog. And finally, in round 3 is an exciting match from the Classic Quarter Player of the Year race with Excorpio and Whiffy Penguin out there in the front of the race, and they're meeting each other here in round 3. Excorpio and Whiffy roll the die and Whiffy wins. He's on Dredge, so he's probably going to win game 1. But whether Excorpio can find the hate in game 2 and 3. So George gets down the turn 1 Bazaar of Baghdad. Excorpio answers with a Underground Sea and a Lotus Petal. The Bazaar of Baghdad is activated. And finding Icarids. And now we also find a Narcomoeba. Bloodghast, and there we go. Scorpios knows the game's up. So we're going to the last game of round 3. And it's all about X-Scorpio and the hate that he's got and whether George has got the answers. So X-Scorpio leads with an Underground Sea. Whiffy leads with Bazaar of Baghdad and the Lotus Petal. X-Scorpio brainstorms, looking for ways to halt the progress of Dredge, and there's one way, wastelanding the Bazaar of Baghdad. But Whiffy Penguin has another Bazaar of Baghdad. Again, X-Scorpio digs. Finds another wasteland. But Whiffy's still going to get an activation out of this. Huge Dredge there. Finds Narcomoebas. There's a Dread Return in the library. We've now got Bloodghast coming back into play as well. Therapy, and there we go. It's game over. That's enough for Scorpio to take. Thanks, guys. We'll see you for the final round, round 4, in just a second.